Welcome along, everybody, to Championship Predictions Round 14. Sam, really poor. I think I want to use the word pathetic, us two, this past week. You've won it 5-3. So that means I got 11 things wrong. All I got was Leeds 3, Plymouth 0, bang on the nose. You got two outcomes. Plus, and you're a better man than me, because I'd be in the comments if I was you. You were bang on with QPR 0, Sunderland 0, which you got a lot of stick for, Sam. Good morning, and how would you like to respond?
I'm not going to respond to that nonsense. I suppose I just felt QPR improving a little bit, due one, harder to beat maybe, and lacking in goals. And yeah, I don't think Sunderland are going to blow the league away, just as much as I've been impressed by them, which I have greatly. But yeah, it's so competitive, travelling, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to be on it every week. Maybe I'll go down the same route a little bit later this morning.
Interesting, very interesting. So no championship check-in podcast until later in the week. I think we might film that on Thursday and drop that on Friday this coming week. It's a good thing, Sam, because I think not one, not two, but probably three public apologies owed to Swansea, to Coventry, and to Watford this week, where some surprise results perhaps caught us out. Get involved in the comments right here, right now, before the games take place, preferably. Copy and paste from the description. Get your own predictions in. Give yourself 1 point, correct outcome, 3 points, correct scoreline. Bonus point for any correct scoreline that comes in that has 5 or more goals. Sam, you are up first. I believe they are 8 unbeaten, Bristol City, but they face Sheffield United.
Crept up on us, this one, hasn't it? Looked incredibly clinical, some amazing goals in that game at Preston at the weekend. I think it was Max Bird, wasn't it? With an amazing goal. Brilliant team goal. So they're flying, yeah. I can't really suggest that Sheffield United aren't going to get something here, though. But yeah, it's going to be a tricky game. I think I'm just going to sit on the fence here, but I think both teams are more than capable of getting goals. So for that reason, despite Bristol City being good defensively, I'm going to go for a 2-2 here. Can't separate them.
Well, that's tremendous. And that makes me feel like a right curmudgeon, because I'm going 0-0 on this one. I remember doing a midweeker between Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield United have got 9 clean sheets. Is that correct? Bristol City are very hard to beat. So I'll go right down the middle on a scoreless draw. Oxford United versus Hull. Did I hear Tim Volter kind of starting to lose the plot a little bit in his post-match after the Pompey game? He looks like the sort of manager who could go for a proper head loss, couldn't he? We both backed Oxford and were let down at the weekend. So I'm not going to back Oxford again, but I'm going to go for something silly because I think Tim Volter's capable of it. I'm going to go Oxford 2, Hull 3, which would get me a bonus point.
Would you think I was winding you up if I had the exact same scoreline written down in front of me?
No. Is it scribble?
It's going to be a scribble for me. Yeah, that's exactly what I had. I think, Oxford, despite it looking like Swansea, certainly before they scored, had racked up quite a few chances and looked pretty good value. Oxford still missed some incredibly good chances. I think there was a one-on-one in there. Harris missed another golden chance. His touch has just deserted him. So I think Oxford will score. I fancied Hull. I think they've been, pretty competitive on the road. So for that reason, I'll stick with the Hull win and I will raise it to 1-3.
Excellent work. Sam, I hear you're going to be there. QPR v Borough.
Yeah, going to take this one in. Not working Tuesday, so going to go down there with my brother and another mate. And I fancy something similar. Everything I'm hearing is that it was a more competitive performance, obviously, at the weekend. Some decent performances from individuals. Middlesbrough, inconsistent, obviously mitigating circumstances for that heavy defeat at the weekend. I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go for QPR. 3 draws on the spin. I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this.
I think I'm going to take Borough, Sam, but I can't put my finger on them at the moment. They're a bit of an enigma, aren't they? I think I know roughly what we're going to get from QPR. I think they're just batting down the hatches now. They're going to try and keep things tight and, try and get on an undefeated streak and build it into a winning streak. Borough, look, you kind of take the mickey for whenever we say, oh, could be any outcome, but I wouldn't be surprised if Borough won 3-0 or lost 3-0. But I'll take Borough in this one just to go against you slightly. And do you know what? I'll go 2-0 Borough. QPR 0, Borough 2. It is Sheffield Wednesday versus Norwich. I mean, I don't know what the hell to make of Wednesday losing 6-2 to Watford. Where did that come from? Norwich as well. I mean, Borja Sainz pinged another one in the top corner, but then they went under at informed Cardiff. I might just go down the middle on this one, Sam, and go for a. We've got to go for goals for Norwich. I might take a Desmond. You've had one already. I'm a bit goal heavy, I understand, for a midweek, 3-game week winter championship campaign, but I will go 2-2. Wednesday 2, Norwich 2.
Yeah, I mean, I spent 10 minutes on Saturday lunchtime telling a Watford supporter how competitive Sheffield Wednesday are and how good they are without the ball and how their structure's their strong suit and all that. And then only to check it when I got home that they conceded 6. I think it can be difficult. I think when you've been scarred by that type of result to respond as quickly as they're going to have to. So for that reason, and I know Norwich have been a little bit indifferent in the last couple of away games, but I think they could have been out of sight at Cardiff, if that's true. And Sainz, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it, what he's doing at the moment. So there's goals in them. I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday to be more competitive here, but a goal in each half. 2-0 Norwich, I'm going to go for.
Plymouth versus Pompey, Sam, is the final Tuesday night game.
I think Pompey gets something here. Yeah, I just think they were able to make it really competitive at QPR last time out, better at Hull as well. I just think for Argyle to just rely so heavily on their home form is just a bit of a risk, and it's going to run out for me here. I was going to go for the Pompey win, but I'm not. I'm just going to go for the 1-1, sit on the fence.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Look, generally I've backed against Pompey this year, and yes, I understand the mitigating factors. Generally, I back Plymouth at home, although I agree with you totally. You can't rely massively on having outlandishly top 6 home form with appalling worst in the league away form, but I'm going to go for the Plymouth win, both teams to score. Plymouth 2, Portsmouth 1.
Can I just come in and say, please correct me in the comments if I've got it wrong, but I think that's the first time I've seen a team not register a shot, Argyle at Leeds.
They got 0 XG, right? Yeah?
As far as I've seen on a couple of various sites that I used, they didn't even have a shot, not even a block shot, let alone one on target, which, I mean, I'm not doing it to make some kind of great point here, but I think I covered a game where a team had a shot in the last knock-ins. I think it might have been Burnley at Stamford Bridge a couple of years ago or something like that. But I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that. So just to elaborate on my point, it's hard to go from that to switching it on and all of a sudden putting teams to the sword at home park every time. So I think maybe that that form will just suffer maybe this week and Pompey may get something.
So I'm going to add to my 2-1 prediction, Sam, that because of what you've just said, someone's going to have a 30-yarder, aren't they? Everyone's just going to be shooting for Plymouth because it's like, oh, we didn't have any shots in the last game. So I'll add a 30-yard goal in the 3rd minute to that prediction. Plymouth 2, Pompey 1. Into the Wednesday games. And yeah, 2 public apologies. A Swansea versus Watford. And I've got to change my tune about Watford being terrible away from home now because okay, it was smashing and grabby on the first day at Millwall, but 6-2 is 6-2. So maybe I have to have them getting something here at Swansea. Swansea tend to be low scoring. I haven't had a 1-1er yet, Sam. Swansea 1, Watford 1.
Yeah, I literally have no idea with this one. This is this week's conundrum. For Swansea, maybe just to feel good off the weekend. That said, Watford have obviously produced an incredible performance, Bayo in particular. Let's go for Bayo to score again, but Swansea to find their goal-scoring boots. 2-1 Swans.
You swerved me with that, Sam. I thought you were going elsewhere. Blackburn versus Stoke. Blackburn's amazing home record over now. Sheffield United won there at the weekend.
Yeah, there's so much going on. It's almost like I want to stick to the narrative and like the thoughts I've had of the early part of the season, but it's just getting a bit mixed now because there's so many games and teams so inconsistent, if you like. And I'll probably put Stoke in that bracket, but I'm just going to go for Blackburn. Kind of need to get back to what they were early part of the season, and Stoke a little bit fortuitous maybe to get that win the other day. I will go for a Blackburn win by a solitary goal, 1-0.
Yeah, I don't mind that actually. Um, Stoke are capable. It's going to be a low scorer. I think you might have taken the obvious one there. I can't play back-to-back 1-1ers, or can I? I think I'm going to have to because I like Blackburn with a low margin and a low scoring game getting the win here, but you've taken it. So, yeah, I will play my second consecutive 1-1er and say Blackburn 1, Stoke 1. Coventry versus Derby. This is problematic. I always say this, Sam, when I kind of feel as I read out a fixture, well, that's a home win, isn't it? At the moment, Derby struggling away from home. Coventry, nice couple of results. So what could possibly go wrong with me thinking Coventry are definitely going to win this home game? Coventry 2, Derby 1.
Yeah, I think after the last couple of results and watching Coventry, in the flesh, I thought they were excellent against Luton. Really inventive, and the confidence seems to be flowing all of a sudden. A man had you right. It's in form. Yeah, I can't. I think I have backed Derby to win, maybe like a kind of grubby 1-0 away from home, and it didn't come to fruition. So I'm just going to stick with what's gone before, really. Derby struggling on the road, 2-0 Coventry.
Millwall Leeds, Sam. Millwall in nice form. I think are they 3 wins in a row now, but Leeds look smooth, don't they? I think they're also 8 undefeated.
Yeah, and I think Millwall have been excellent. I think they're up to 7th, aren't they? Which is
Yeah.
it's incredible. They're looking really creative as well. I think those numbers early part of the season are showing that there's quite a lot of truth in that they are a much better attacking force this season with the new look attack. So I think they'll score, but I think maybe difficult for the lads to raise themselves time and time again when you haven't got the depth of maybe a Leeds and the other teams that they're battling against. So I will go for Leeds narrowly, 2-1 away win.
Yeah, I'm going to back Leeds as well, but I also think Millwall will score. You've taken the 2-1, so I'm going to have to stretch it out a little bit and say 3-1. Millwall 1, Leeds 3. Leeds purring, but Millwall, looking a bit more like the first iteration of Neil Harris when they were first in the Championship. Luton versus Cardiff. Oh, I was just saying to Sam before we started recording, my thoughts on the watch along on Friday night between Luton and West Brom. It was so poor. And actually, Sam, from a human point of view, I thought Rob Edwards looked stressed and tired and frankly unwell. And I'm not saying that as any kind of entertainment value, just worried for the bloke. He doesn't look like this is a lot of fun managing Luton at the moment. Omar Reitzer looks like he's having a ball managing Cardiff. So I hate to say it, I think stress levels increase for Rob Edwards, and I think Cardiff go there and win. Luton 0, Cardiff 1.
It's an easy one for me, isn't it? I'm going to take the Luton home win. I'm going to predict that Cardiff are going to be more competitive, and I think it's probably backed up in the home results. Certainly, they're looking formidable there. Doing a brilliant job, isn't he? But I think it'll come together for Luton here. Don't know why. I've just got the feeling that they'll take care of business. Morris and Adebayo, goal each, 2-0 Luton.
Tremendous. Preston v Sunderland, Sam, is the main TV game on Wednesday.
I'm going for lightning to strike twice. I'm not going for the 0-0. Steady, stay on your feet. I'm going to go for Preston to get a point here. I'll go for a 1-1. I think, they had plenty of attempts the other day against Bristol City. As I said, Bristol City are incredibly clinical, but I think they're going to be competitive in this type of game, Preston. And, maybe fancy them to frustrate Sunderland 1-1.
I keep backing Sunderland. I'm going to continue, Sam. I'm just a really big fan of what they're doing at the moment. And I think Preston kind of start games fairly hot, but my feeling is that won't work against Sunderland, and they'll keep the nil there, and then they'll go and win the game in the second half, perhaps. So I'm going to go Preston 0, Sunderland 2, and that point at QPR for Sunderland to start looking like a good one, because you go 2 away games, you've taken 4 points, and you knock out 7 for the week, and you're probably going to be top of the table going into international break number 17 or whatever we're on for this season coming up. Thursday night football is West Brom versus Burnley. This has the potential to be really bad as well, because West Brom were reasonably complicit in that Friday night watch along not being great. I think it could be risk averse. I think Burnley stuttery, and we're starting to get the overly methodical Scott Parker football being mooted again. I'm going to back West Brom to win, Sam, in an ugly game, 1-0. Lightning to strike twice. Burnley on the road, 2 1-0 defeats in a row. West Brom 1, Burnley 0.
I think they've had 5 draws on the spin, haven't they, West Brom?
Yes. Go on, do it.
I'm doing it.
Yes.
More than happy to. I think it'd be cautious. I think you're bang on. I think it'd be cautious. I think it's a game that both managers will approach not wanting to lose. So for that reason, I'm going for a stinking 0-0.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Brilliant stuff, Sam, as ever. Get involved down there in the comments. Get your own predictions in. Copy and paste from the description. You know the deal. The scores are 1 point for a correct outcome, 3 points for a correct scoreline. And give yourself a bonus point. You get 4 if your scoreline, like mine in Oxford v Hull, where I've gone 3-2, has 5 or more goals. So, Sam, we're going to do the Championship Check-In podcast as is customary in a 3-game week. We're going to do that on Thursday, and you can hear all Sam's thoughts. We'll try and kind of cover the 2 games, but just quickly, any kind of takeaways from the weekend in the Championship before we move into the bowels of a midweek round?
Very unpredictable weekend, I think. There were some results that you just wouldn't have envisaged coming to fruition. Big weekend for Watford, big weekend for Swansea. Those two obviously meet each other. Some real standout results, I think. Bristol City's victory as well was a standout. And I think Millwall, we've just touched on them, but I think them flexing their muscles as well against one of the really fancied sides shows that they could be definitely a dark horse this season. So, no, I thought I think the results that we had in terms of our scores exemplifies just, what an unpredictable league is at the moment, and probably not going to have those shoo-ins for promotion until maybe later in the day than we've seen in previous seasons.
Yeah, very, very much so. We will be back on Thursday with another round of predictions for the weekend. We will film the Championship podcast, Championship Check-In, and get that out on Friday. And then maybe we'll try and go live the following Monday, and you can get your questions in to Sam as we head into another international break. We'll see you soon.